Hello everyone, I'm Romeo Leones. In this video, we're gonna talk about a very important topic in the problem formulation stage in research. It's about identifying the different types of questions in quantitative research. With regard to the objectives, after watching this video, you're expected to first identify the types of quantitative research questions. Second, classify given quantitative research questions based on the typology discussed. And third, discuss the importance of being able to classify quantitative research questions. According to Creswell in his book Educational Research, Planning, Conducting, and Evaluating Quantitative and Qualitative Research, published in 2012, there are three popular types of questions in quantitative research. The first one is descriptive questions. The second one is relationship questions. And the third one is comparison questions. Let us look at each one of these with some details. Researchers use a descriptive question to determine the participants' answers to a single variable or question. The variable mentioned here can be an independent, a dependent, or an intervening variable. Usually, descriptive questions are those that begin with what is and to what extent. For example, if a researcher wants to describe the satisfaction of students in two different modalities, namely face-to-face and online, he may use the categories that are actually descriptions: not satisfied, slightly satisfied, moderately satisfied, or extremely satisfied. The research question that he could ask is, what is the level of satisfaction of students in face-to-face and online learning modalities? Of course, there is a need for the researcher to identify aspects or dimensions of satisfaction that are worth considering. Let us proceed to the next one. Relationship questions try to determine the degree and magnitude of the relationship between two or more variables. These questions often relate different types of variables in a study. In most cases, researchers want to relate the independent variable to the dependent variable. Take note, relationship questions usually begin with, is there a significant relationship? Is there a significant association? For example, a researcher looking into the satisfaction of students in learning modality and their performance may ask, is there a significant relationship between student satisfaction and their performance? There are exceptions, of course. A research question looking into the factors associated with a certain phenomenon or predicting something based on a given dataset is also considered as a relationship question. Finally, researchers may ask a comparison question to determine if two or more groups on an independent variable differ in terms of one or more outcome variables. Comparison questions are used in experimental studies where the researcher provides some intervention to one group called the experimental group and withhold it from the second group called the control group. Take note, comparison questions begin with, is there a significant difference? For example, a researcher may be interested in determining whether or not there is a difference in satisfaction between students under face-to-face modality or online modality. A researcher question that he may ask is there a significant difference in the satisfaction of students in face-to-face modality and those in online modality? Let's test what you've just learned. Suppose that a researcher would like to determine the effectiveness of cognitive apprenticeship as a learning method in terms of student appreciation and performance. He may ask the following questions. Number 1. To what extent do students in the control and experimental groups appreciate the course based on the pre-survey and post-survey results? Number 2. Is there a significant difference between the level of appreciation for the course of these two groups based on the pre-survey and post-survey results? Number 3. What is the performance level of the control and experimental groups along mathematical knowledge and mathematical skills based on the pre-test and post-test results? Number 4. Is there a significant difference between the performance level of these two groups based on the pre-test and post-test performance results? And number 5, is there a significant relationship between the student appreciation of the course and their performance in the course? How are you going to classify each of the given questions? The first one is of course descriptive. It can be answered by ranked categories such as to a little extent, to some extent, or to a great extent. The second one is a comparison question, differentiating the extent of appreciation of the control and experimental group. The third one is descriptive. The possible ranked categories of performance may be poor, satisfactory, very satisfactory, and or excellent. The fourth one is again a comparison question, differentiating the performance level of the two groups. And number 5, it is a relationship question. The researcher wants to know if there is a relationship between appreciation and performance. What is the importance of knowing the type of questions that are used in quantitative research? Questions asked in quantitative research inform the following. Number 1, the research design to use. If all questions are descriptive in nature, then the researcher may use descriptive research design. Number 2, whether or not there is a need to formulate a research hypothesis. If all questions are descriptive in nature, then there is no need to formulate a hypothesis. Number 3, the statistical tool in data analysis. If all questions are descriptive in nature, then only tools in descriptive statistics are to be used in data analysis. Thank you. Please watch my other videos on selected research topics.